If you want to get wealthy, I don't just mean rich, but I mean true generational wealth. There's three keys you need to know. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Prosperity TV. Randy here, and as you see, I'm just dropping in to do a special session. I don't really put out a show anymore every week. I've just got too much going on in my life. But I try to drop in from time to time. When I think something to share, it's time to share something that I really feel has been really impactful for me in my own prosperity, and I think it'd be really helpful for you. And so I'm just going to do this quick show because I think you're going to find it really helpful. And I'll ask if you do like it, comment, share, please, whatever platform you're on, rate it, subscribe. And then I've turned on the camera and we've put it up on the YouTube channel as well. So Prosperity TV. All right, what are we going to begin? We're going to talk about philosophy. We're going to talk about the single most important question. And then we're going to talk about what to do once you have money. So let's begin with my philosophy of prosperity. Your goal should be to wake up every morning when you finish sleeping. Today's Saturday when I'm recording this. We'll put it up on Tuesday probably. But I'm recording it on a Saturday. I came back from the batting cage. I took a shower, cleaned up, had some videos to record, and I decided to do this episode for you. I'm going to go to bed tonight. I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning on Sunday, and I'm going to go to softball and play 2 games. And I will be driving up to the field in the morning, knowing that I actually am worth more money tomorrow than I am today. And I'm not going to work tomorrow. I'm going to be playing softball, relaxing, and then I'm going to wake up Monday morning and I'm going to be wealthier than I was when I went to sleep Sunday night. Because of how I can answer that single most important question that I want you to ask yourself. So let's jump to that. Do you work for money, or does your money work for you? I just believe this is the single most elegant, laser-focused, profound question that you can ask yourself in terms of how do you build true wealth? Because it's all about leverage, right? Was Einstein said you're either going to understand the principle of leverage and you're going to employ it, or you're going to work for somebody who does. And I think he was dead on with that advice, because leverage is where you escape the trading hours for money. If you trade hours for money, it's a trap. It's a limiting trap that holds down your prosperity. No matter how much you get paid that hour, you might be a heart transplant surgeon and you might make $50,000 an hour. I don't know what they get, but it's probably a big number. But they're still trading hours for money, because if they're not taking a heart out of a styrofoam cooler and putting it in somebody's chest and making sure it hooked up and actually works, they don't get paid. They don't have leverage. Leverage is the superpower for creating wealth. Why will I wake up on Monday wealthier than I was on Sunday? Is because I have my money working for me more than I'm working for my money. And that's the point you got to get to as soon as you can, where you can apply leverage. And here's the third key. This is something I've been threatening to write a book on this for 10 years, and all my friends are begging me to write it. I don't know. I have so many books I want to write and so many things I love to do. And so, but I want to share with you some thoughts on this because the book I've been threatening to write is What to Do When You Have Money. Now, just to make it clear, in case you got sent this video from your friend and you're saying, who in the hell is this arrogant rich guy rubbing his money in my face? What a arrogant jerk. I want you to know I'm the middle child of a single mom who raised 3 kids by herself, knocking on doors, selling Avon. I was thrown out of high school. I was in jail for armed robbery and burglary at 15 years old. I made a lot of really poor choices in my life. I struggled financially for the first 30 some, about 30 years. My first 30 years, I struggled financially. I know what it is to take 100 pennies, roll them up into 2 rolls, and take them into a gas station and buy $1 worth of gas. Imagine if you did that today, you would get, a quarter of a gallon if you're lucky. But I know what it is I know what it is to live on $11,000 a year. I know what it is to sell my furniture and sleep on the floor. I've been through all of that. So I'm not here to be judgmental or preachy or beat you up. I'm here to share my truth of, hey, here's what I've learned being really, really, really broke and then becoming wealthy and what it's about and the journey and what's going to happen. And that's why I think it's so important of learning what to do when you have money. Because here's what you're going to discover. When you have money, now you're going to buy a nicer car. And if you take that nicer car to the car wash you've been taking your broke mobile to, they're going to ruin your car because they're going to scratch up the paint. They're going to have that bucket of dirty water that they've just washed 65 different cars with. They're going to get a big sponge and slosh it around in all that dirty water, and they're going to start swirling the sponge on your car, and they'll just scratch up all of the paint. Why? Because they work on broke mobiles every day. They don't work on supercars and exotics and expensive cars. So you learn, oh, you know what? I can't go to the same car wash. You start to buy some nice clothes. Now you have a bespoke suit. You have a shirt with elegant buttons and you're going to send it to the old dry cleaner you've been going to for the last 15 years. And they're going to break all the buttons with the iron and they're going to ruin, they're just going to get, your suit is going to get shiny because they don't know how to sponge and hand press a quality wool suit. You're going to learn, oh, no, I'm going to have to ask around to some of the new friends in my new circle of influence. Who's a good dry cleaner that I can trust to send my clothes to? You're going to think, okay, is this cleaning lady that I've been using when I was broke the same one I can use now that I moved into my $1 million home? And, or is she going to do as mine did, which is take a bottle of bleach and leave it on the carpet of my new thousands of dollars I had spent for the lush, plushest carpet in my living room and have a circle of a bleach bottle stain. And all you can do is throw away the carpet and replace it. Because there's just, where this was, there was no way to like cut out a piece and put it in without it just looking atrocious. And you realize, well, there are people who clean homes who work for wealthier people with wealthier homes, and they have a little more training and a little more experience, and they know how to take care of stuff. And if you have a painting on your wall that they dust and knock it down and the frame breaks and you spent $60,000 on that painting, it's a little different than if when you had Elvis on velvet that you bought at the flea market, or dogs playing poker that you bought for $9.99 at Pier 1 Imports, or um, IKEA. It's a different, and you start to realize, okay, I need to think about how I'm living now is different than I was, and I'm going to need to be mindful about the things I do and the way I act. What's going to happen is everyone you know is going to come to you for investments, and you're going to have to figure out, how do I deal with them? Because they're going to say, Nancy, come on, all I need is $80,000 to open my special home for unwed llamas. And I need your help. And $80,000 is nothing to you. You're worth millions of dollars. You're my cousin, and you say you love me, and you say you're a good Christian. Why won't you help me? You're going to have to learn how to say no for things that aren't make sense. People are going to tell you what charity to give to. You're going to become the recipient of every GoFundMe offer, every Indiegogo offer, because you're going to be known as a wealthy person. And you're going to, all of a sudden, you're going to start to get an incredible amount of wedding invitations and confirmation invitations and bar mitzvah invitations. And you're going to be like, wow, who is this inviting me to this wedding? And you realize, oh, that's the bag boy from the supermarket. And somehow they got my address and they're inviting me to their wedding, to some woman I've never met. And I've met this bag boy for 10 minutes, and he's inviting me to his wedding because he figures I'm good for a toaster oven or a, whatever, and their gift list, their registry list, whatever. You're going to have to realize, okay, even like for me, even if they don't, they're like, well, you don't have to give, but you need to put it on your Facebook or your Twitter because you have 150,000 followers. And so my dog needs an operation, and I did a GoFundMe account, and I need you to promote it to everybody you know. And if you're, excuse me, let me get some water. If you're a business person like me who uses social media as for marketing, and communicating with your tribe, like me, I'm an author. I write books, so I have to be on social media to communicate with my readers. But if I say yes to everyone who needs a GoFundMe, then all my X account is nothing but 10 GoFundMes every day, and then people stop following you. So you have to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And there's going to be a limit to, you're going to have causes that are near and dear to your heart. And you know what? You can't support every charity in the world. You can't support every broke relative you have in the world, every broke friend you have. You're going to have to learn how to, because your first, at least for me, maybe I'm just projecting, your first thing is, hey, I can't, I'm sorry, I have taxes to pay and this and that, and you make up excuses. And I don't want to be a liar. So I just would rather be truthful and say, I really appreciate your charity, and I think it's doing wonderful work, but my plate is full. I have charities already that are near and dear to my heart, and I support them. Right? Now, when it's someone you know well, and it's a GoFundMe, they got cancer, their dog needs an operation, their house is being foreclosed on because a meteorite landed on their car or whatever. send what you can, right? You'll never regret that when you're on your deathbed and you had people that you know and love, and you know a check for $300 or $500 or $1,000 could really help them and make a difference. You'll just do it. Just write the check. Once you're there, once you have money, right? But don't let yourself get played. Don't let them run rackets on you. Um, I had people that were dear friends back when I was broke, and they have chosen to remain broke like we used to be. I surrounded myself with victim friends, and we all commiserated together, and and tried to one up each other. And I'd be like, wow, the electric company turned off my power, and all of the meat in the freezer, melted, and I lost my food. And then your buddy's like, yeah, but my landlord gave me the 2-day eviction, and I'm going to have to move out in 24 hours if I don't find the money for the rent. And so you kind of surround yourself with these victim friends, and you want to out victim them. You hate it when somebody has a worse tragedy than you do, right? So I did that for 30 years. And then I realized, you know what? I don't want to be a victim anymore. I want to be a victor. And I would love to bring all my friends and family with me, but I couldn't, because some of them can't let go of being a victim. And I love them and I want the best for them, but you have to make a decision. I had dear friends who, like, okay, they need to borrow $800 for this. Okay, then before they pay that back, they need to borrow $1,000 for this. Before they pay that back, they need another 500 for this. And then it's, my car broke down. What can I have to have $1,500 to fix the car or I don't work. And there's some people that I loved and said, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not going to lend you any more money, because let's be honest, you're never going to pay this money back. I've loaned you money 6 times. You haven't paid any of that back. So now you're telling me that the sheriff's department is there because you haven't paid your child support, or your car is getting repossessed because you haven't made a payment in 7 months, even though you borrowed money from me 4 times to make, allegedly you were making car payments. So here's the deal. I'm giving you one last check from the Randy Gage Endowment Fund. And then I'm never going to give you or lend you any more money again. And I need you to know this. And if you call me, if I'd love to hear from you, let's stay in. But if you call me and you start to ask me for money, you need to know I'm going to hang up the phone. If you send me texts and frantic emails about, I'm going to have to block you. And they will give you rackets. They will play on you. They will, how could you say that? I thought you were a good Christian. How could you say that all of the years we have been together? It was, I was watching there's a documentary on Netflix or Max, I forget which one, on Little Nas X. So I love him. I love his music. So I had to see the documentary, and there's a part in there. He's on the tour. It's a documentary of the tour. And so he was going to Atlanta, he's from that area. So all the family was coming to the concert and everything. And there's a line in the show where he's just kind of reflecting. It's late at night. He's on the tour bus or something, stressful all these days on the road. And he's talking to the cameraman or the producer or somebody. And he just says, I've got to figure out a way where all the people in my family can get a house, but I don't have to be the one to pay for them all. And, it was just deep, soulful, heartfelt, emotion that he was expressing. And that's kind of what you're going to have to, you're going to experience if you go from broke to really wealthy. You're going to experience the same thing. You're going to get an entourage. And it'll be really fun at first when you're the protagonist and you're the one who finances the entourage. And you can take everybody to that concert. You can book a private jet and take everybody to Ibiza or South by Southwest or Burning Man or, whatever. And then, but here's what I'm going to say. Create your entourage mindfully, right? Take someone like MC Hammer. Guy made millions and millions of dollars and pissed away it all because he didn't know financial literacy. He didn't know what to do with money. And he's got a happy ending, right? He's a minister now. He's doing amazing. It seems like he's got a really good life. But he had this entourage of everybody he was supporting, and he went bankrupt. And lost all millions and millions of dollars. It takes somebody like Floyd Mayweather Jr. My, I see him clips on social sometimes. He carries around a bag of millions of dollars, and he throws a duffel bag of $1 million to his mom or his sister or someone, and says, "Go shopping." And he's made more money than I think any professional athlete in terms of earning from his sport, but I don't think that's going to have a happy ending for him. That is the wrong kind of entourage. Remember the show Entourage with Vincent Chase, I guess, was the character that Adrian Grenier plays. That's the way to do Entourage, right? He had his brother, he had Turtle, he had his manager, and then who he might be dating that time. And he could buy everybody a Ferrari if he wanted to. He could charter a jet and take people to the opening premiere of his movie in Barcelona or whatever. And he was happy with that and mindful of that. But he created the right entourage, and they weren't trying to abuse him. He really got joy and value from being with those people. They're the people he loved and trusted and he wanted around him. And he knew he had been blessed with his incredibly good looks, and he honed his acting skills. And in the show, he's this big Hollywood A-list movie star, and he's going to make 20 million or 30 million every time he does a movie. So he can have the mansion, and his brother can live there, and Turtle can live there, and they can sit around and smoke the bong and, whatever. Do that. Create your entourage that you want the right way. Like, we say money doesn't buy happiness, and that's very true. But there are ways that you can buy more happiness with money. And this is what I've learned over the years is I want to make memories with my money. So I have a buddy, his birthday is a couple of weeks from mine. We're about to have a big milestone birthday in a couple of weeks. And I'm like, let's just go to Prague. Let's go to Amsterdam. Let's go to Australia. Where do you want to go? Let's go. Bring your partner. Let's all go celebrate our birthdays together. I want to make a memory. My mother, my sister, I lost my brother last year. So I got my mother, my sister left. That's it. I don't have anyone else. So I'm telling them, hey, this summer, where are we going to go? And I want to put together an amazing experience and fly everybody first class and just go somewhere that we will make a memory that we will treasure for the rest of our lives. That's the kind of entourage you want to do. But you won't be able to do that if you don't learn how to handle the other stuff. And the other big thing I have to say on this is you've got to learn how the money game is played. And you've got to learn, how do I put my money to work for me instead of me working for my money? So learn how to set aside money that grows, how to have retirement income, how to handle the taxes, how to handle your budgeting, and then again, how do you put your money to work making more money? And that will allow you to support those charities that are near and dear to your heart, to live a luxurious lifestyle where you have choices, where you have freedom, where you have security, and it will allow you to support the entourage, the people who haven't been as fortunate as you are, and you can kind of bring them along for the ride and share that prosperity with them. So I hope you found this really helpful. I'd love to hear from you, particularly the YouTube channel. Jump down in the comments. Let me know what you think. And like I say, I'm not doing this every week. I don't have time with all of the projects I'm involved with right now, but I will drop by when I can and put up a new episode when possible. So until the next time, love you guys. Peace.